Rhesus factor. And now is designated with the letter D. And Rhesus factor here, it's all about if the protein or the antigen, the Rhesus factor protein or antigen is found on the surface of your red blood cell. Okay, now the red blood cell, it's biconcave. Okay, it's biconcave in shape. Okay, how will I draw it now? It's biconcave in shape. Then on the surface, if you have these antigens scattered on it, then you are Rhesus positive. But if you don't have these antigens scattered on your red blood cells, then you are Rhesus negative. So if this is your red blood cell, biconcave, it's biconcave. Okay, if you have the Rhesus factor antigens scattered, Rhesus positive. If you don't have, Rhesus negative. There are two major ways of classifying blood groups in the human population. We have the ABO system of classification, and we have the Rhesus factor system of classification. Nowadays, the ABO and the Rhesus system are joined up together. That is why you see A positive, B positive, you see the blood group type, and then you see the whether positive or negative Rhesus factor. All right. In the Rhesus factor system of blood group classification in the human population, you discover that there are other antigens involved. Okay, there are other antigens such as like this ones, and then this one. There are 5 of them, but this D stands for the Rhesus factor antigen. Okay, which is the most important of all these other antigens because it triggers immune system response. The Rhesus factor is very important when you are considering blood transfusion. Okay, and during pregnancy. Okay, you may not remember anything about Rhesus factor, but when you are considering blood transfusion and pregnancy, you must have to run a test or a blood test to know your Rhesus factor, if you are Rhesus positive or negative, because this will be very important to know. Otherwise, there will be complications which may be life-threatening. During blood transfusion, it is very important. In fact, medically, you will be asked to run a test to know not just your blood group, but your Rhesus factor. To know your Rhesus factor. That is why the Rhesus factor is always attached to your blood group. Okay? Okay. Now, they are both important during blood transfusion that you know them. How is it important? Because if you don't know your blood group and your Rhesus factor during blood transfusion, there may be complications that will be life-threatening. Now, it's important that you know this, that during blood transfusion, what do we mean by blood transfusion? It's about maybe somebody losing a lot of blood and needs to reboost his or her blood, and so they'll be getting a screened blood from another human to put to that person so that to boost up the blood level for survival, right? Okay, you don't just transfer or just give anybody any blood like that. You really have to screen it, and during screening you have to know the blood group, and you not just the blood group using the ABO system, but you also have to know the Rhesus factor. Very important to avoid complications. I haven't talked about the ABO system of classification of blood groups, right, in the human population. And when you now add when you now attach the Rhesus factor to it, you discover that we have A positive, A negative, B positive, B negative, AB positive, AB negative, O positive, and O negative, right? All in all, we have 8 of them. Okay, now somebody that is of blood group A and with Rhesus positive, Okay? Because the rhesus factor protein or antigen is found on the surface of that person's red blood cells. Okay? This A plus, in case you see that your blood group, after running a test, your blood group reads A plus, A positive, that is A D positive or A rhesus factor positive. This means that during blood transfusion, you are to receive blood from only A positive person or A negative person or O positive person or O negative person. So you have to receive blood from these people. People with this kind of blood are the ones that you can receive blood from. If you receive from another blood type, there will be complications. There's going to be agglutination of blood, clotting of blood that could lead to that patient's death. Okay, this means that now take note that the rhesus positive, when it's reading positive, it means that you can receive from a positive or a negative rhesus factor person. But if it is negative, you must receive from only the negative rhesus factored individual. A negative person can receive only from A negative and O negative individual. Only from individuals with this kind of blood type. You should donate blood to a patient of A negative. Okay? Now, B positive individual can receive blood from somebody who is of B positive or B negative and also O positive, O negative. Negative person must receive from only B negative or O negative. Remember we said that if it is rhesus negative, it must be from negative negative. If it's positive, very free to receive from positive or negative. Now, what about AB positive? AB positive can receive blood from AB positive person, AB negative person, O positive person, O negative person, A positive person, A negative person, B positive person, B negative person. You see that these individuals have a high chance of survival. Oh my God. They can receive blood from all the other types of blood group. How many of you are AB positive? There's a high chance of your survival. You're not going to look for blood. Almost any individual you come across, you can receive blood from that person. Wow, that's good. Now, what about AB negative person? Remember that the AB is our universal recipient. That's why they can receive from all the other blood groups. And if it's positive to it, more luck to that person. Then what about AB person, AB negative person? This individual is limited kind because the person will receive from only AB negative, A negative, B negative, and O negative. You see that? That's the limitation now. So only from A negative person, B negative person, O negative person, and AB negative person. Now, what about the O positive person? Now, on the O positive, remember that the O are universal donors. They can give to everybody, but they can receive from only O. So when it is O positive, you can receive from only O positive or O negative person. And then when it is O negative, you must receive from only O negative person. You see now? So you see that these two people are different, are opposites. Because the AB positive person can receive from every other person, but the O negative person is very limited to only this one. Oh, that's to tell you that from the look of things, that the chance of survival of an O negative person when it comes to blood transfusion is very slim. It's the most slim. So if you know anybody that is O negative, we pray that no calamity will befall such a person, because it will be so hard to actually get blood, because it's only one person, one kind of blood group type, not just the O, but it must be rhesus negative to be able to transfuse blood to that person, unlike the AB positive person that can receive from every other kinds. Now, why is it important to know your blood group type? Not just your based on ABO, but also your rhesus factor. That's why medically and during laboratory tests running of your blood type for screening and all that, you discover that they don't just give your blood group They don't just give your blood group, they also show you your Rhesus factor. Okay, they tell you, for example, oh, you now see D positive. This D, like we have said, designates or represents your Rhesus factor. That's the protein. That there is this protein in your red blood cells. Okay, all right. So now it's very important to know why, because if you don't know and you just transfuse blood like that, my God, the next thing you see of that patient that has received blood is that there will be, clotting of blood. For the person will start convulsing strongly, and then heart failure, and the person will just die immediately on the spot, because there will be agglutination of blood, and that person will just die because the blood was not screened to know the Rhesus factor and the blood type. So it's very important to screen this blood, run this test. You should know it before ever you engage in any kind of blood reception.
In pregnancy, it is very important that the expectant mother knows her blood group and her Rhesus factor status. This she can get to know when she runs blood tests. She has to know, because if there is a mismatch, some certain kinds of mismatch can lead to severe complications in the pregnancy. Now, if the mother is Rhesus negative and her fetus is Rhesus positive, because the fetus has inherited it from the father, who is Rhesus positive as well, you see that the mother's immune system will begin to produce antibodies that will attack the red blood cells of this fetus, thereby leading to serious complications at birth. Complications such as anemia, complications such as jaundice, severe kind, complications such as fetal heart failure, and in worst case, it will lead to stillbirth. Stillbirth is the case that the child was dead at birth. This is really life-threatening. The condition of stillbirth due to the mismatch of the mother and the fetus Rhesus factors is what is called as hemolytic disease of the fetus and newborn. This is abbreviated TOS. But nowadays, we thank God for medical science, because we now have the Rhesus immune globulins injection, which will be given to the expectant mother at 7 months of pregnancy. That is when she is 28 weeks gone, during pregnancy, and within the first 3 months of delivery. After she has put to birth, she's expected to take another injection, another dose of it within the first 3 months. What will this do? This injection will help prevent the mother's immune system from producing antibodies that will attack the fetus or the newborn, as the case may be. Let's look at this. If this is the mother and this is her child coming as the fetus or the newborn, if the mother is Rhesus positive and the child is Rhesus positive, this won't result in any complication. If the mother is Rhesus negative, the child Rhesus negative, no complication. If the mother is Rhesus positive and the child is Rhesus negative, even though there is an incompatibility or mismatch of their Rhesus factors, however, there will not be any resultant complication. The only complication will come about if the mother is Rhesus negative and the child is Rhesus positive. This is the only case that requires urgent medical attention, because it can result to hemolytic disease of the fetus and newborn. and other complications that we have seen before, typically stillbirth. So this requires an urgent medical attention.